The original Ninja Gaiden was perhaps the best pure action game ever. With deep and fluid combat and enemies that were genuinely smart and dangerous, Ninja Gaiden put most other action games to shame. The sequel offers even more of the same. Unfortunately, it fails to correct the main niggling problem of the first game. In Ninja Gaiden 1, the camera could occasionally be a nuisance, but you seldom died because of it. In this respect, it's actually a bit worse in Ninja Gaiden 2. This time around, you may end up losing a few lives due to enemies that vanish off the side of the screen or simply become obscured thanks to the wonky camera. In a word, it feels a bit cheap, and the same can be said for some of the new bosses. Occasionally, you'll spend several lives just trying to find a boss's weak points and memorize their patterns. Compounding the difficulty is the fact that this time there are many more attacks that will break your guard or are just plain unblockable. As you can guess, Ninja Gaiden 2 is a bit harder than the first game. The easy difficulty here is about the same as the normal difficulty in the original. And while Ninja Gaiden 1 was blisteringly hard, but for all the right reasons, sometimes that doesn't hold up for the sequel. Now with that out of the way, I have to say that I absolutely love Ninja Gaiden 2. It's one of those games that despite all the issues and the cheap deaths, you'll find yourself hitting continue again and again. This is because the pure hack-and-slash combat is just so good. Forget God of War, forget Devil May Cry. When it comes down to the actual combat, no game does it better than this. It's sleek and smooth with tons of depth and enemies that will genuinely punish you if your defense isn't just as good as your offense. The intensity and pure satisfaction are pretty much unrivaled, and the game makes definite improvements over its predecessor. The more frequent save points and ability to regenerate health from non-mortal wounds truly enhances the flow of the game. The new weapons and combos are also great, and the gory finishing moves fit right in. Visually, the game doesn't look that much different than Sigma. The environments are about on par with Devil May Cry 4, but not as pretty as, say, Heavenly Sword. They definitely get the job done, though, and there's a ton of variety as you travel to locations all across the world. The game's plot may be paper thin, but in all honesty, you probably won't care. Ninja Gaiden 2 has its share of flaws, and yet it's got the best combat of any action game yet. Similar to Devil May Cry 3, despite the difficulty, if you stick with it, you reach a point at which everything just starts to click. It's a highly satisfying and rewarding game for those who have got the skill to play it. If you think that's you, this one is well worth picking up.
Enough talk. The ties that bind our clans are severed tonight.